Henry and Lakeisha, it is so great to speak with you guys and catch up. Thank you for joining the podcast.
Thank you for having us, Gabriella. We're so glad to be here, and thank you for inviting us. We really appreciate it.
Of course. I think a lot of people would be very curious to know about your background because both of you have been really making waves in the outdoor industry. So why don't you introduce yourselves for our listeners?
We are Halo Chronicles, and that stands for Henry and Lakeisha Outdoors. And we basically chronicle our hunting adventures through video, through photos, and we like to get our kids involved in the outdoors as well. And how I got introduced to the outdoors is, believe it or not, I was not the typical outdoors girl. You know, I didn't like bugs. I didn't like any of that type of things. And so Henry used to go out every weekend hunting, turkey hunting, deer hunting. Every weekend he would find something, to get out there in the woods and do. And I'm like, what in the world is keeping him in the woods all the time away from me, And so eventually he was like, you know what, Lakeisha, why don't you just come out and film me? That's all you have to do. So I was like, you know what? If I can't beat him, I might as well join him. And, he was like my best friend. I said, so let me go out here and check it out and see what all the hype is about. And so after Henry took me out, I was filming for him and he was doing his mouth call. The turkey was calling back and they were going back and forth. And it was just so much interaction. And I just thought like, oh my goodness, like this is so cool. My first time turkey hunting, seeing a wild turkey and, he took the shot. It was just like amazing. And then after that moment, he was like, Lakeisha, next time you're going to take a shot and I'm going to film you and I'm going to give you the gun next time. And so I've really been addicted to the outdoors, ever since after that moment.
Yeah, it's really been a blessing just having my wife by my side, because you got to think about hunting. It's actually a social sport. A lot of people, kind of make it where it's just between them and the game they're pursuing. But I really began to think about this, and I realized I had so many stories. I would tell her, hey, Lakeisha, I saw this, or this happened while I was out there. And then I kind of started thinking about it. Hey, what's better than me just telling her about it? Let's experience it together. Yeah. And then from there, as my wife said, she became hooked to the outdoors. And then we just decided just to keep it going, to pass it on to our kids. And Halo Chronicles, it really is a way of life. And, we really enjoy doing it. And it's brought us closer together as a family as a whole. So
yeah, and we have 4 kids. Our oldest is 16. We have a 10-year-old daughter, a 7-year-old son, and then we have a 5-year-old. Should be actually 6 this month. So our hands are pretty full. So we definitely like to keep it balance between hunting and the kids and the family time and all of that. So
that's amazing. Yeah, I remember when we first all met officially in Utah about a year and a half ago, you were telling me about how you both got your kids hooked on fishing and hunting, which is amazing because it seems like kids are really distracted by that these days. And it seems like living in Mississippi really gives you guys great opportunities to go hunting and fishing. What do you think of living in a state like that where you can do that?
Well, Mississippi is a wonderful place to live. I kind of feel like Mississippi haven't been really represented the way it should. A lot of people, when they kind of think about Mississippi, they think, like here's the old days, cultures are separated. But I'm gonna tell you something. I've experienced what Mississippi love, and what I mean by that is
Southern hospitality.
That's right, Southern hospitality. We don't have the problems that a lot of people may think we have. Most places have a people problem, and what we do, we try to put it in categories and say, hey, this person is acting this way because he hates me, or they don't like my gender, they don't like what color I am. But a lot of times the problem lies within that person, and there's a problem that God has to work out in their heart. But us being who we are, letting God be the head of our life, people meet us and they gravitate to us. So we've had tremendous opportunities in the state of Mississippi. We can do anything from whitetail hunting, wild turkey hunting, horseback riding, fishing. There's all kinds of resources that the state of Mississippi has to offer. And it's truly a blessing just living in the South. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing else. Well, not yet, because I heard the West is pretty awesome too, but to be continued on that one.
There's always trips that you can make out west, of course.
That's right. We've been thinking about going out west, so next year hopefully
we have elk on our list next, so that's one of the things we want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, and you guys have obviously attracted a pretty decent following on social media, and that has attracted the attention of some different companies and organizations. Can you speak to which organizations you guys have partnered with and worked with that kind of embrace your mission statement and support your kind of lifestyle?
Well, of course. And first of all, I want to say this. The outdoor industry and the people in the outdoors, they are welcoming. The thing is, if you show the type of interest and you take your hunting, you take your picture taking, social media, you take it to another level, guess what? There's opportunities for everyone. It doesn't matter where you come from or where you look like or what you look like. I really feel like we've really been embraced because, we decided to, everybody got to find their niche. And here in America, there's all kinds of opportunities. So some of those companies that we're working with currently, and is Mossy Oak and
Lacrosse footwear.
Lacrosse footwear, Browning trail cameras. We're ambassador for Winchester ammunition as well.
Hunter Nation.
Hunter Nation, and we're ambassadors for Turning Point USA, and let's see who else. We gotta think about it.
Look, who else?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good list that you guys listed off.
But
great opportunity.
And those are some companies that we did work with earlier, and we still have good relationships with them right now. But we're just trying to explore some different things and try some other things as well. So, but all of those companies really that reached out to us even first when we first appeared on the Outdoor Channel, we really appreciate them because they saw something in us and they embraced us. So. It's definitely been a fun experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, why don't you guys talk to kind of going off of what you said about the outdoor industry being a welcoming place. I have seen a lot of statistics pointing to very unique demographics starting to buy guns. I think there was a surge in, Black gun ownership, 58% in the last year, which is amazing. And a lot of different demographics are starting to buy guns. It's not just an old white person type of sport. And same with hunting. You start to see more diversity there, natural diversity, I would argue, just because everyone is welcome in the outdoors and anyone who puts their mind to it can obviously partake in it. And everyone, as you mentioned, does welcome. I've seen it myself firsthand, and it's really amazing that different people who you didn't think would partake in the outdoors and shooting sports would come in. But what are your observations on that? And what do you think is the best way to outreach to different folks who are not in the traditional subset of target demographics for shooting sports and hunting?
Well, first of all, one thing that we think that helped us out was, first of all, in this country, we're all Americans, and we just so happen to be Black, and it was our values as far as standing on the principles of God, family, country, being supporters for the Second Amendment rights. I think, first of all, that's important to the circle of those that are in the outdoors, because these are some of the main things. And if you don't have a lot of those conservative views, then, you might not necessarily, for example, okay, if we're with Winchester ammunition and we're against 2A, it doesn't line up, so those are some of the things that, you got to look at. Now, I would say this as far as reaching out to other demographics. I think maybe if they had some things sort of like in Mississippi, in the more country areas, you have programs in schools like, what do you call it, where you can take hunter's ed. You had a 4-H club and different things like that, but you can take hunter's education while you're in school. I think that if we start introducing more curriculums like that into the inner city, it'll bring more diversity. It's not necessarily that diversity, there's no interest. It's getting the right resources, and because I find out a lot of people when it comes to hunting, they have a lot of questions like, where do we start? How do we get a license? And you have to say, well, first of all, you got to take hunter's education. Right. Well, and they find out, well, how do I do that? How much does it cost? And I'm like, no, it's absolutely free. So things like that, programs in place like that really helps out. And I'm gonna tell you something that they did incorporate. It wasn't necessarily to incorporate it when I first started hunting, but they have apprenticeship licenses now. I know the state of Mississippi and I know Tennessee has it. So what it does, it gives a person who hasn't taken hunter's ed the opportunity to go hunting, as long as they're in the supervision of a licensed hunter, and they can actually try it for themselves, you know, and see if they like it. Because sometimes the classes and stuff, it may discourage some people, you know, from going ahead and attending. So I think things like that is what it's going to take, and it's going to open more doors.
What are your thoughts on that, Lakeisha?
Right. Like him said, I totally, absolutely agree. And even like for those who are even just wanting to get a feel for the outdoors, you know, some people, you may want to start by watching YouTube videos. There are a lot of very informative information on YouTube, how to get started, what type of guns to shoot, all of that stuff, and even going to your local ranges, you know, talking to people, you know, just getting the hands-on experience. And even if you know someone or a group of people, go out with a group just so you can kind of, you know, learn from that person. Because Henry, I actually learned everything pretty much about hunting from Henry. So he pretty much taught me everything that I know now when it comes to hunting. And Henry's actually self-taught. He was watching videos and things like that, teaching himself how to hunt. And so now that's how we are.
Right. And I think to add on top of that, you know, some of the opportunities that we're getting, I think it kind of, it may inspire some that are come from different backgrounds to think like, hey, you know, if we see them doing it, then, you know, it's okay. Because, you know, you see a lot of these Hollywood movies and you think like, you know, there's going to be someone out there with Billy Bob teeth, you know what I mean, chasing you, trying to hunt you. And I tell a lot of people, check the statistics. You're more safer out in the woods than you are in some of these crime-infested city streets. So I think by them seeing us and seeing how at the end of the day, people are just people, and they welcome anyone that are willing to, you know, to let me just use for example, anyone is willing to put down, let's just say, a gang lifestyle and pick up a bow and decide to take up a sport like that. I think, you know, I'm just thinking of some of those, you know, stereotypes that you may see in the inner city. Anyone with any good mind would feel more safer with people that are interested in shooting sports and hunting than those that are interested in those illegal activities. So I think I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, and I think also because of this pandemic, a lot of people are now concerned about how their food is sourced. And I saw that you guys were interviewed by Business Insider, and they profiled you guys as obviously a unique couple because you are Black Americans and you guys go hunting and you do it and you love it and you're great at it and you like to inspire people to do it as well. And It's really amazing that they showcased you guys doing that. So have you guys focused on trying to source your food more locally? And then have you had friends and have you had people approach you since that interview asking you how to do it, especially from different backgrounds or fellow Black Americans too?
Yes, absolutely. We get a lot of messages and inboxes and stuff, people asking us, hey, we want to go hunting with you guys. You know, do you guys take people out? Do you guide? You know, I mean,
how can I get started?
Yes.
What's the first step? Oh my gosh, y'all were so inspiring. We get a lot of those type of messages in our inbox, even before the Business Insider.
Yeah,
but exactly. When that brought more messages as well.
Right. You know, people saying like, you know, we never considered hunting or anything, but hey, we're most definitely interested in it now. So,
and being able to provide, you know, for yourself, your family, food, you know, you really can't beat that. Being able to know if everything's shut down, you can go out there and just go and hunt, go and fish. You'll be able to take care of yourself and be self-sufficient. So a lot of people, I think they really gravitate to that part of being self-sufficient, not having to actually rely on the government or rely on certain things. You're able to provide it for yourself and for your family and friends.
Right. And I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of Black hunters out here. There's a lot of Native American hunters. You know, there's a lot of Hispanic hunters out here.
Absolutely.
Right. I think the main thing is just getting a hold of the information and just taking your hunting to another level, and instead of just doing it on your own, but using social media, all these kinds of resources for positive hunting experiences. And I think that right there would even open more doors and bring in more diversity, because like I say, they're out there. There's a lot of people that do what we do. We just consider ourselves blessed, and highly favored just to be able to have this opportunity. So so we're enjoying the ride so far.
Yeah. So it's a matter of, I think because I do a lot of marketing. So for me, what I understand it, and it's not anything cheap, it's actually a smart tactic where consumers look at different products, or they look at different advertisements for women. They say this too, and I bet for Black outreach and Hispanic outreach too, for product placement. People think and they see, well, can I envision myself using this if I don't see myself represented? It's a kind of a psychological principle.
Exactly.
So I think it's good. And I do see the industry at large, different companies showcasing that folks like yourself are also partaking in the great outdoors. And you see kind of this really genteel, very sincere marketing effort showcasing that it's not just your typical white old gentleman doing it or a white old woman doing it. It's actually uniquely American, where everyone of every background does this. And now that they're showcasing this, because I mean, hopefully it's not just a response to current events, but I hope that people are genuinely doing this because we need everyone from all walks of life to sustain this heritage. If we want it to continue, we need everyone to participate and go hunting and fishing to pay those conservation dollars. And so it's good that companies are seeing this and wanting to do this from an authentic way, I think.
Right. And I think it's an awesome time for it, because a lot of times typically, we see more of our demographic portrayed on TV as far as, being more catered towards the left ideas, but I think that right now is a great opportunity to also show, another side. You just don't want to show one side of the spectrum, because it'll cause people to think like, where is there even a market? If you don't see that represented, you may not realize there's a whole lot of opportunity out there. So I just think it's just a great time as well.
Yeah, I mean, it is a crazy time in the country, but there's still many good things. Like we get to talk over Zoom, and I think it's just people try to look for a silver lining, and we should try to stay optimistic and have conversations and engage with people better. And that's how I befriended you guys in the beginning and last year and all that. And I think that's, people forget to have these important conversations and to talk candidly and to not force things and just to talk about shared interests, because that's what I think really does bind people together, and especially the outdoors. Like people forget how unifying and how wonderful spending time fishing, hunting, hiking, boating, camping really does put this country together. And I tell people all the time, because I live here in DC, I tell people, you should step away from the computer, step away from Twitter, go outdoors.
You have to. You really have to.
Because when you're out there in the outdoors and you throw a bass lure out there, that bass isn't thinking like, oh, is this a male or is this a female that's trying to catch me? The deer's not thinking like,
Fish don't discriminate.
Am I pursued by, an Asian person or a black person? They're not thinking about it. And I think we need to, stop thinking about these things and just enjoy the moment in our good, sober mind and just take it all in while it's going on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you guys currently working on any initiatives, any programming that you have, any things that you guys are working on projects wise that you're able to tell my listeners? I think people would be curious to see what you're working on. Or are you preparing for any hunts coming up?
Well, we do we do have some big things in store, but we don't really want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Fine.
We got a couple opportunities, but besides that, we're going to continue to do our videos, to social media, and we're probably going to have some content out on Mossy Oak Go as well.
Excellent.
Because last year we did a project with Mossy Oak. It's called Scent Lock's Way of Life, and I think it was a five episode.
It was a 5-episode series that streamed on Mossy Oak Go.
Right. So we're gonna continue doing the usual, but we're gonna add a little bit more to it. So
awesome.
yeah, some good things in the making right now.
And do you have hunting trips or fishing trips planned for the fall coming up? What are you guys planning to target?
Primarily like
deer, whitetail,
right.
Pretty much for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, things come up at the last minute, so
right.
So our schedule is still kind of
we almost
in the making.
Yeah, we're gonna do a dove hunt.
Oh yeah, we do.
We're gonna do a dove hunt down in
coming
Mississippi, and we're gonna have some pretty cool guests come down. So we will do a dove hunt coming up, and we actually were about to go out west. We had an opportunity, and that's just a testament of the outdoor community. Here it is. We have an outfitter that reached out to us and was like, hey, we want to put you on a trophy elk and a mule deer, and we're not going to charge you anything. You know, so hey, nice. America is great. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you know, seriously, they're not thinking about, hey, you're this person. It's all about sharing those experiences. And I mean, but we ended up deciding to kind of plan that for next year, because a lot of times those hunts out west, it could depend on if you're going to get a rifle hunt or you're going to get like a bow hunt. So we decided at the last moment, we're going to pull out of that one. But we do have another great deer hunt, out-of-state deer hunt planned so far. Of course, we've already been hunting. We was in Texas, East Texas.
I saw that. That was incredible.
Yeah, week before last. And we had a great time while I was there. So yeah, we got some stuff planned. We're going to do some rabbit hunting as well, do some more of that. And you know, anytime we can get out in the woods, it's
a good time.
Yeah, I'm not really picky. You know, if someone tells me, hey Henry, you want to go on a squirrel hunt and get some squirrel dogs, I'm just as excited. Let's do it. You know. So ain't no hunt too small for us.
No game too small or too big.
Yeah, equal opportunity hunters.
That's right.
And how about your kids? Are they excited to particularly focus on any species this fall? What are they most excited to hunt or fish?
Well, which one you want to talk about first?
I believe turkey, Angel.
Okay.
I know that our daughter Angel, she's 16 now, and I know she loves turkey hunting, because with turkey hunting, it's a little bit more action going on, and deer hunting requires a little bit more patience, but turkey hunting, I think, is a little more, my favorite word, adventurous,
But I will say that Angel, I think she just likes, she don't mind
doing anything
really at all, because I mean, she's been successful with taking whitetail, wild hogs, and turkeys already. But I think maybe Trinity, our middle daughter, is 10.
She's 10.
Right. I think she really wants to get a turkey. Last year she did take her first buck in Missouri, and it was a nice 11 point. And I mean, it was a nice buck for her first deer. But I think because Angel has, you know, taken the turkey,
big sister,
you know what I mean. So she gotta get that turkey on her belt. And I mean, she's been trying, and she's patient and everything. And then my son, I think he's ready to take a deer as well. So
he's Mr. Independent, Mr. I can do anything.
Right.
He's definitely excited.
Oh, and he loves to fish as well.
He's gonna when he gets even older. He's gonna be a great fisherman. Yeah. He loves it. He baits his own hook. He puts the worm, the cricket, anything. He can do it all. He
don't want no one to help him. He wants to learn.
I got it.
Right. So he's very independent when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's no surprise that your kids are interested in this. Both of you greatly enjoy these activities, and it's so refreshing to hear that more kids are starting to take an interest in the outdoors.
Absolutely.
Right.
Do you guys want to add anything else for the conversation? Anything you want to mention? Any final points to add?
We just thank everybody, all of our followers actually who've been following us now. And if you're not, definitely make sure you go and check us out on Instagram at Halo Chronicles. We're on Facebook, and we are on Twitter as well. And we're definitely rebooting back our YouTube. So we're going to be on all those platforms. So make sure you follow us there, like and share. And we appreciate those who have been doing it so far. Anything else, Henry?
Nothing else, but as we always say, the family that slaves together stays together. So y'all just keep on doing what y'all doing, and invite those kids, invite more people. And
it's all about the next generation of hunters. Get those kids out, introduce someone new to hunting, you know, someone, your next door neighbor, anybody, you know, friend, coworker, you know, just introduce that next person to keep the tradition going.
Just try it. You just might like it.
Amen. No truer words are said. Thank you both so much for chatting with me. I really think people are going to take away from this. They're going to connect with you, and they're going to have some hope that hunting is not dead. It's alive and well, and people like yourselves are making it better.
Right.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah,
and thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we really appreciate you for the time and
Of course.
just get a chance to just express ourselves. So it's definitely a great opportunity.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Gabriella.
Of course. Good to chat with you guys.